right now, you're going to get a couple of bonus minutes. And I'll tell you what, we've got a lot to fit in here into a little over an hour. So let's just go ahead and get the ball rolling. All right. Most people that come to Investor Inspiration, you're looking for ideas. You're looking for stuff that works. You're looking for something to add to your trading arsenal. So let's see if I can't help you with that today. I'm jazzed that we're not just doing this on the web platform, but also YouTube and live stream. Very cool. All right. And if you've been paying attention, listen, today was what? Non-farm payroll day. Markets are moving. What's been happening before this? A lot going on in the Great British Pound with Brexit. That's been going on for over a year. Article 50, Theresa May, right? The pound has been oscillating beautifully. Macron gets elected in Europe, in France, right? And the euro starts the move. And now gasoline, right? You go fill up a tank of gas right now in Orlando, it's $1.98. And that's affecting what? The US dollar and the Canadian dollar. So you're seeing all this as a trader, as an investor, right? And you're saying somebody's making money at this. Well, I'm going to tell you what, you're right. Okay, you're right. And what we've noticed as Forex traders is that this is literally setting up as the best trading environment that we've seen probably in the last 7 or 8 years. So if you're thinking, well, all this stuff has already happened, it's too late for me. No, 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 no. The sun is kind of shining on you, okay? Because what's happening now, gang, you're going to be able to take advantage of it. And what I'm going to show you today is that as a Forex trader, things can happen for you very quickly. Let me just show you what I mean. All right, I think most of us are sort of arriving here, so I want to jump right into it. And what I want to show you right here is this little account right here, okay? This is one of my trading accounts, and I actually opened this up as a small account, all right, so that all the traders that work with me, all right, here at the Market Traders Institute can see that even if you start with a small amount, all right, you can make yourself a lot of money in a hurry. All right, and what I want to show you is this. This account started with my last group of new traders, right? You can see right here, right? It was worth about $1,700 on April the 16th. Well, as these moves that I'm talking about started to happen, right? As the French elections took place, the one that I just circled, that was a nice pop in the account. Okay, that was when Macron was elected. And the reason I was able to get a nice pop in the account was because I was positioned before that occurred. If you're reading about stuff that already happened, all you can say is woulda, coulda, shoulda. Okay, so you got to find a way to be positioned in this stuff before it happens. Anybody knows that if you bought Microsoft at 5, you're a millionaire. All right, but if you didn't, then it's just a story that you can tell. All right, I want to show you how you can be positioned ahead of time for those pops. And I'm also going to show you a formula, all right, that the one I'm going to show you today that's allowed this account to continue to grow. You continue to add results to the account. So just take a look at this. All right, for brand new traders that were working with me. All right, 2 weeks after we started, take a look at where this account was. It was at $4 grand. All right, so what does that mean? That means the account about doubled in 2 weeks. Okay, and now, well, that's old news, right? It's April. No. Let me show you where that account is today. Okay, that account today is worth 10.4. Okay, so in about 60 days, okay, where'd it go? Give me that. In about 60 days, that account has gone from $1,700 to 10.4, and that's real money. Okay, and I think that's what you came here looking for today. Yeah, show me how to make $8,000 in 2 months. Show me how to make 400%. Well, I'm not going to be here wasting your time. All right, I got to believe if you showed up here today, that's the kind of result that you're looking for, and I can show you how to get it. All right, I can show you how to do this, but you got to give me some good attention for about an hour. All right, and you're going to have an account to be able to do this. Now, here's what I want to know. How many of you have a Forex account already? If you've got one, in the chat box, can you just type the word yes? And if you don't have one, type the word no, okay? Because you're going to have a Forex account in order to be able to kind of pull this off. And I want to show you, I got another minute here before we start. All right, let me show you how you get an account opened today, because most of you are action people, just by the fact that you showed up here today. All right, it tells me that you're an action person. Well, if I can give you the right path, right, then you're going to be able to take these actions. Here. Let me just show you how this works. All right, a couple of you have an account, a couple of you don't. Just do this. All right, write down the steps here. Go to this website, OANDA, Oanda.com. Now that's a Forex broker. Now I got to tell you up front, I'm not in the business of recommending brokers. That's not something that I do, okay? But I will tell you, right, I'm the guy giving the presentation, and I happen to have an account with this group. So if you sort of read between the lines there, right, this might be one that you want to check out. Watch how easy it is to open a Forex account. You go over here, you click on open an account. Okay, you got a couple of choices. You can do some live trading. You want to fund an account today and have at it with what I teach you, you'll be able to do it. But if you want to just take a baby step, all right, then you can open up a demo account. All right, in a demo account, they give you the money. All right, they give you $50,000 worth of play money that you can sort of go through the exercise, learn the mechanics, learn what the buttons do. The beauty of a demo account is that it's real time. All right, it's real-time pricing, it's real-time movements in the currencies. All right, if you click buy or sell, you get a real-time execution. The only difference in a demo account is it's not real money, but it still gives you an opportunity, right, to be out there doing it. Because I'm going to tell you something. Okay, you don't learn how to trade by reading it in a book any better than you learn how to ride a bike from reading about it in a book, right? How to ride a bike. You can read that book all day. The only way to learn a new market, all right, is to get out there and do it. And the fact of the matter is, you know, I know you're worried about skinning your knee like you were when you rode your bike. That's why you got some training wheels. I know when you took the training wheels off, you're a little wobbly because you're brand new. That's just natural. Okay, we got to get over our fears of new stuff. We got to maybe wait for mom and dad. You know, they're going to hang on to the bicycle seat while we get our balance. That's what mentors are for. They've done it before. You understand this? But pretty soon what happens is when you learn the skill set, when you can put, you know, the limbs together, a little muscle memory, get your balance, that bike is going to take you where you want to go. All right, and that's the key. The bike is going to take you where you want to go. Once you learn how to ride it, you never have to learn how again. So get yourself an account doing this today. At the very least, I know you can do this. All right, here, look, click on a live trading account. What happens is it pulls up a page, okay, and you're going to put in some basic information. Okay, your name, your email address, and you choose a username and password. When you come down here and click on this button, all right, what's going to happen is an email is going to be sent to you. You open up that email, all right, there'll be a link in it so that what? So you can download this trading platform. That's it. All right, you'll literally have a place to do some trades today. So with the mechanics that I give you, with some of the trades that I give you, I'll give you a couple of trades before we go. The euro against the US dollar is trading short, okay? I'm gonna give you assets today because you didn't come here to waste your time. You wanna find ways to make some money. The fact of the matter is I'm gonna keep on giving that to you, but you gotta have a place that you can do it and have a proving ground. Okay, real account, demo account, I'll show you how to do them all. All right, here's another place you can look. If you don't want to take my recommendation, all right, then go to the biggest one in the world, forex.com. All right, it's the same process. You can either take a test drive with a demo account or open up a real account, but you have to still give them just some basic information. Once you do that, all right, what country are you in? What's your name? What's your email? They'll send you the link so you can have a trading platform. So that's it, all right? And as a bare minimum, right, I know my serious people are gonna be doing that, so that's perfect, okay? I think you all can hear me, all right? So that's a good thing, all right? If you want, confirm it. Just in the chat box, we're gonna talk to each other today, all right? This is gonna be a little different than the average webinar where you just kind of hang there, right? And the person gives you a bunch of information and you write notes. No, no, no. Learning how to trade, gang, and doing it correctly, it's kind of a contact sport, all right? And if I'm gonna help you, let's talk to each other today, all right? That's usually what everybody wants. Hey, you're good at this, can I come trade with you? Well, let's talk to each other so we have a give and take in the relationship as opposed to you just kind of being there, you know, taking from me. I wanna hear from you too, all right? Because you might have something that's gonna help me as well, okay? And by typing in your answers, all right, you're gonna help me, right, guide this in a way that's going to help you personally. Okay, like I said, you could have been doing anything else today. You could have been running errands, you could have been hanging out with your kids, all right, but you came here, so I want to make sure that this is worth your time. All right, so good. Yeah, thank you, David and James and Barbara and Don. There's Selma, Alabama. There's Terry. There's San Antonio, Texas. There's the Netherlands. How's that for a big group? There's Australia. Now my live streamers on YouTube, you can type answers too. okay? And that's gonna also be the key. Let's have some fun with this, all right? But be aware, all right? We're not playing around. This is still serious business. I'm excited, all right? I've been trading 23 years, gang. There is no better way to make a living, let me just tell you, okay? But the fact, and I'm excited because I know how to do it, but I'm also excited because I can show you how to do it, all right? But this is still serious business. If you don't know what you're doing, you can lose your money, okay? And I tell you that right up front. Because look, I don't want you to lose your money, all right? I want you to make a ton of money, and I want to make sure that you know what you're doing, because the way I think of it is, if you can put a couple of $1,000s in your pocket, all right, by this time next week because of what we talked about today, well, then that means that this is going to be worth every minute of your time, all right? You're always going to be in control of this exercise, all right? I'm going to show you a ton of stuff, but you're the one that's going to be in control of this. I can't trade your account for you. You're the one that's got to press the button. You're going to do the buys. You're going to do the sells. All right. And I'm here so that you can do that confidently. I'm going to show you some stuff that works. I'm not going to convince you of anything. Okay. That's not my job to convince you, right? That's stupid, right? My job is to show you some stuff that works so that you can add it to what you're doing and get where you want to go. Is that fair enough? Are we singing off the same sheet of music? Because I'm at the Market Traders Institute. Some of you know who we are. If you don't, let me just tell you, we've been in the business of doing this thing, all right? Teaching people how to trade the Forex for the last 23 years, all right? What we do is we teach a formula, all right, for successful trading, all right? And we also provide awesome software, wait till you see it, and this mentorship, this relationship, so that our students who are there worldwide, right now there's more than 32,000 of them. All right, they can keep applying the formula on a daily, weekly, monthly basis and continue having that success. Now, look, no matter what markets are doing, all right, up markets, down markets, we've been through that. Okay, you see that the markets are moving. We've been through that with our students over the last 23 years. And what we've taught them and what I'm going to teach you today is such a rock solid method and skill for trading the market that no matter what happens, our students know that they can always generate at least a secondary income, all right, if not a primary income. So I guess if you came to do that today, yeah, Joe, show me how to make a secondary income from this. Show me how to make 3, 4, 5,000 a month, and this will be worth my time. Well, good. The Forex is going to give you that, all right? And like I said, your timing on this is just about perfect, all right? A lot of pips have already been made on the dollar, on the yen, okay, on the pound. But right now, what's happening is the next wave is shifting over to the euro, okay? This is setting up all of our students, all of our traders, okay, to make some money. And what's gonna happen is on Monday night at 7 o'clock, our head trader, Josh Martinez, okay, some of you already know who that is. Some of you are already connected to him. If you're not, here, get connected to him. All right, write down his Facebook handle, right? Click on Let's Be Friends, and you're gonna have a connection to our head trader. Okay, that's a great asset. We're 5 minutes into the thing. I'm giving you good assets, okay? Make sure that you're connected to him, because here's what's gonna happen on Monday. At 7 o'clock, all right, we're gonna have a webinar just like this for all of our worldwide students. And what's gonna happen is Josh is going to hand them his analysis and set them up to make between 4,700 and 5,000 pips. Now, what does that mean? All right, if you're new to the Forex, let me just tell you. That means if you're a trader, okay, and you're trading his recommendation, and if you're trading for just $1 a pip, that means, all right, you'd be looking to make $4,000, okay? So we're about to have, I guess, a $4,000 conversation. We quantify it, we show it, and then we go out and do it. But the only way to make the money is to get out there and do it. Does that make sense? So write down the time, all right? And I'll at the end of this make sure of 2 things. Number one, that you're prepared to be in that room, because that's going to be your first taste of trading with our group. Okay, if you're interested in doing that, awesome. All right, I'm gonna give you an invitation to do that, but I'm also going to spend the next hour, okay, getting you prepared to be in that room. Some of you are like, yeah, what am I going to go trade with you guys? I don't know the first thing about the Forex. Well, you will. okay? Because in the next hour, I'm going to turn you into a Forex trader so you can get out there doing some live trading, all right? Now, Renee already introduced me, but just let me, for those of you that are kind of getting here late, let me just tell you who's been yelling at you for the last 10 minutes, all right? That's me. That is my smiling face, all right? I'm Joe Cavallaro. I've been trading markets since I graduated college back in 1994, all right? I've traded them all, all right? I'm licensed in all of them, all right? And I want you to understand something. You can make money in every one of these markets, okay? That just makes sense. If somebody says to you, hey, you can make money in the stock market, of course you can, all right? So why is it that I want to talk about the Forex today instead of all these others? Here's why. Because you've got to pick a market, gang. You want to trade from home, I got it. You want to trade from your kitchen table, from your laptop, okay. You got to pick the market that gives you the best chance to make the money, all right? And you got to find the market that gives you the advantages. Well, the Forex market's going to give you all of them, okay? You're going to see how the Forex with those advantages, all right, is a step above the other markets. We'll go through the advantages. You're going to see this, that mechanically, you can obviously do this, all right? I could probably teach you a high schooler to trade this market mechanically, all right? That part's simple. But when it comes to the advantages, all right, you're going to see that not only can you do this, but you probably should, all right? So let's talk about the advantages in this market. And by the time we're done, look, you're going to know how to do it. You're going to know flat out more about making money in the Forex than 99% of the people on the planet. We're going to go live, all right? Because I don't believe in telling. I believe in showing. All right, anybody can teach you some theory, right? Anybody can give you the big vocabulary words. My belief is let's get out there and do it, all right? And the more you see it, the more you do it, the more you understand the mechanics, the more you're gonna have it in your back pocket. So I'll show you how to enter a trade, all right? I'll show you how to exit a trade. I'll show you an awesome piece of software, but the real key is gonna be that formula. All right, that is going to be your biggest takeaway from today. And I'm going to go through all the steps. Listen, you're going to be writing a lot of things down. All right, and when I'm going through the formula, I just want you to listen extra carefully because that's going to be a real big takeaway from our time together today. All right, you'll see it with this piece of software, but the whole key is this. If you want to trade today, give me an hour, you'll be prepared to do it. And here's the best part, okay? No matter what I show you, you're going to be able to take advantage of it risk-free to you financially. So with that, let's talk advantages. You ready? You ready to go forward? All right, let's do this. Everybody's got their pen and paper going. What are the advantages of the Forex? Why do you want to trade this instead of the others? Here's why. Liquidity, flexibility, size, simplicity. Write those down. All right, let's just take these quickly one at a time so you understand this market that much better. All right, this is the most liquid market on the planet. It trades $5 trillion every day, okay? It's open 24 hours a day. And there's always a buyer and there's always a seller, okay? And you can get in and out of this market anytime you want within 1 second or less. Now, what does that all do for you, right? Liquidity sounds like a fancy word, a lot of information. You know what all that means to you? Lower risk, okay? If you've got a liquid market that you can get into in 1 second, right? Because there's always a buyer, always a seller. That means if there's an opportunity, you don't miss it, okay? On the flip side, if you need to take an investment off the table, okay, whether it's to protect the profit, to protect your downside, or just to plain get yourself back into cash for whatever reason, this market's going to allow you to do that in 1 second or less any time of the day. All right, that liquidity lowers your risk. It's the most liquid market on the planet, and you got to think that way when you're a trader or an investor. Okay, let's move to the next one. Flexibility. You heard me say it's open 24 hours a day, right? Write this down. This market is open from Sunday at 5 until Friday at 5 Eastern time, okay? What that means to you is, all right, no matter when you want to trade it, market's going to be open, all right? Any of these other markets, you've got to adjust your schedule to their schedule. They open in the morning, they close in the afternoon. US stock market opens at 9:30, closes at 4, right? Same thing with the options market. Well, that works if you don't have a job. That works if you live in a place that is conducive to those hours. But if you live in Indonesia, or you live in the UK, okay, or you live in California, whatever it is, you're setting an alarm for the middle of the night if you want to trade 100 shares of Microsoft, all right? That's okay for some people, but not most. The flexibility in this market, because it's open 24 hours, is when you want to trade, when you're done with work, when you've taken your kids to their dance lesson, when you finish your evening meal, whatever it is, okay? When you sit down to trade, you open your laptop, okay, and you pull up that account that I showed you how to open, this market's going to be waiting for you. That's one of the main reasons individuals love this market, okay? It's because it's so flexible. You know why I like it? Third reason, size. This is the biggest market on the planet, okay? This is a $5 trillion a day market. It's bigger than all the other markets of the world put together. All right, this is what I call the big pile of money. All right, everybody asks me, hey Joe, where's the big pile of money? Right, let's go find that big pile. Right, is it over here? Is it over there? Look at, you found the big pile of money. All right, this is the currency market. This is all the money, all right, in the world. All right, so now that you found it, you're like standing next to the big pile. What do you have to do as a trader? You got to stick your arm in the pile, right? You got to pull out a handful on a daily or a weekly or a monthly basis. All right, that's what traders are doing. Okay, you're building your own pile. Well, I can show you how to do that in this market because of the last thing. It's simple. All right, I don't have to do like in the stock market, teach you how to follow 200, 300 companies, right? We don't have to talk about fancy vocabulary, puts and calls like the options market. All right, I mean, I can do that, but why wouldn't we do this in a way that's simple? All right, want to see how simple this is? If you know your major currencies, gang, you're like halfway there already. Now, if you don't know them, write them down, right? That gets you halfway there, okay? Because this is what you're going to be trading. You're going to trade the major currencies of the world, okay? And of course, that's the US dollar and the Canadian, the pound and the euro, the yen and the franc, the Aussie and the Kiwi. Go ahead and jot those down. All right, and look, I'm doing basics. All right, some of you got a little experience with this. A lot of you got experience with other markets. So let me just build you here. Okay, I'll build you a nice foundation. You decide what to do with it, but this is what you're going to be trading. Okay, the major currencies of the world. Now check this out. Every time you see a currency, it's going to be paired up with another currency because currencies trade one against the other. Okay, and anytime you see a currency pair, it's going to be followed by an exchange rate. Now, most of you know what that is already, right? Because you've been traveling, you've been to a bank, right? You've been to the currency exchange at the airport, right? What do you know when you see this information? Immediately, you know what it means. It means you can trade one currency for the other at the going rate, okay? If you hand over €1, what's gonna happen? Well, they're gonna hand you back about $1.12 US. If you know that, you are cooking with oil. All you have to know to be a currency trader is this. We trade these exchange rates for profit. That's it, write that down. We trade exchange rates for profit, and whether they go up or they go down, we can make money on this in either direction. Okay, now let me get you talking like a currency trader. Most people, when they talk about exchange rates, they only talk about dollars and cents. All right, dollars and cents, that's for the tourist. All right, that's for the average person. Traders, we go a little further to the right, to these last two decimal places. All right, those are called the pips. You got to write that down. Pips stands for price interest point. Okay, it is tiny little movements in the exchange rate that we as traders are looking to capture. All right, so maybe in your notes you write, we are looking to capture pips. Pips are good. We're looking to trade and collect as many of those pips as possible because pips are where the profit is. All right, let me show you how it works. Here, this will make sense to you. If you've ever done even one trade of any kind, this will make sense to you in a few seconds, okay? Let's say we got the euro and the US dollar. Okay, let's say it's trading at 112.05. Now, during the course of the day, we might have a strong euro or we might have a weak dollar. Okay, if that's the case, what's going to happen? Well, that's going to move my little seesaw here. That's going to move my currency rate. Okay, in this case, it'll move it higher. Now, just as an example, all right, let's say it goes from 112.05 up to 112.95. That's going to be a difference of 90 pips. Do you see that? There they are at the third and fourth decimal place. Okay, that is where the pips are. So now what? Now you know where to find them. All right, so what do you have to do? I told you this was simple. You go into that trading account, you do what traders do. All right, you buy low, you sell high, you follow your formula. Okay, you protect your downside. You put this all together, all right, and this is a repeatable exercise. You're going to be doing this over and over again, all right, collecting pips. Now, I have to let you know something, all right? No matter how many pips you collect, okay, you can't pay your bills with them. What do I mean? Well, if you walk into the bank, okay, to make your mortgage payment, and all you got with you is a bucket of pips, okay, your banker is going to look at you kind of funny. All right, you got to turn those pips into something you can spend. All right, well, that's where you're going to come in. All right, because as a trader, you're going to be making some different decisions. Now, pay close attention to this. All right, because I'm going to show you what the investment is, and I'm going to show you what the results are. Okay, when you trade currency, you're always going to trade based on how confident you are. Okay, write this down. How confident you are is going to determine a couple of things. How much money you put into a trade, of course, okay? But it's also going to determine how much profit you take out of it. Now pay close attention here, because this is where the money is, all right? When you trade, you got choices. In the currency market, you can trade a micro lot, a mini lot, or a standard lot. Write those down: micro, mini, and standard, okay? Now let's talk about the investment on any of these. If you're trading a micro lot, what is that going to mean for you? That's going to be a $20 trade. All right, a $20 investment. First thing everybody says to me, how much can I do with $20? I mean, really? Okay, let's talk about that just for a second. All right, any other market, okay, $20 doesn't do much for you at all. All right, you got $20 in the stock market, you buy 2 shares of something and that's the end of it, okay? $20, you can't even get started in options or futures, okay? But in currencies, $20 is gonna allow you to trade micro lots of currency. It's gonna allow you to get your foot in the door. Okay, and look, I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence here. Okay, I know you got more than $20, most of you. Okay, you got a savings account, you got 20,000. Okay, you got a retirement account, some of you got 200,000. You know what I'll tell you? Leave it there. Okay, don't touch it, because you're not going to need it here. No matter what you do in the currency market, you don't need a lot of your own money. And I'm going to tell you that starting small is actually the right thing to do. Why? Because when you start small, what can you do? You can figure out if you know what you're doing, right? You figure out if your formula works. You figure out if your technique is good, okay? Before you go risking larger amounts. But once you figure out on a small amount, okay, that what you're doing works, that's when you can step it up to the next level. It'll just be a very natural thing. At which point, what do? You'll step up to trading mini lots. That's gonna be your next step, okay? Now, what do you need for that? Just $200, still not a lot of money. Okay, but that's going to be where things start to get a little bit more substantial. The one I want you to circle, though, on your paper, and yes, I am moving quickly. I've got to. I told you I want to give you every bit of your time's worth here. Okay, so let's just keep moving, and I'll do some repetitions. But the one I want you to circle on your paper is standard lots of currency. Why? Because, gang, when you're trading, this has to be your first goal. All right, is get to the point where as quickly and comfortably and confidently as you can, you are trading standard lots of currency, because that is when this exercise is going to mean the most to you. All right, so what do you need? What are you trying to do here? You're trying to figure out where you fit on this little grid, right? I don't know where you fit. You're going to decide that. That's up to you. All right, but what you notice is none of those is a big number, and they're not. All right, if you got $2,000, gang, I'm going to tell you in this market, that is all you're ever going to need. Okay, and I showed you what you can do with $2,000. If you were here earlier, I showed you 2,000 turned into 10,000 in about 60 days. All right, that's what I'm going to show you how to do now. But here's the thing: now that you know the investment part, you got to figure out, all right, where's the profit come from? That's where the pips come in. Okay, the pips come in here. When you're trading micro lots, each of the pips is worth 10 cents. Write that down. 10 cents of net profit to you. All right, so just let's go back to the example we did on the euro very quickly. We made 90 pips, right, on that euro trade, that example. Well, 90 pips times 10 cents is what? $9 on a $20 investment. 9 over 20 is 45%, right? That's a nice percentage. I know it's not a lot of money, right? $9. You might get a cup of nice coffee with it, okay? But 45%, think about that. If that is a repeatable exercise, in other words, if that is something you can do over and over again, you and I both know that you're not going to be trading small for very long. Okay, at which point, what do? Confidently, you step up to trading mini lots. Now, that gets a little more substantial, because now those pips are going to be worth $1. Okay, understand that the trade itself is going to remain the same. You're always going to be trading for the pips. Okay, so 90 pips on the euro, all of that's going to be the same. But because you started with a little bit more, $200, now you get to take out a little bit more, right? $90. That's nice, right? But the reason I told you to circle standard lots on your paper is because, gang, when you're trading standard lots, those pips are worth $10 a piece, okay? And yes, right, that's when this is going to get more meaningful for you, because why? Because you already did the math, right? 90 pips times 10 is $900. That's right, okay, on a $2,000 investment. And right there, that is the main reason people are flocking to the Forex market, is because they don't need a lot of money, okay, to make a lot of money. Now, I don't care who you are, $900, you do that a couple of times a week, you're making $1,800 a week, okay? That's more than most people are making in a week, and you're doing it sitting at your computer. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what everybody wants to do. But what are you asking? All right, how often does that really happen? 90 pips? I'll show it to you. Happens every day in every currency. All right, and you don't have to get them all. You got to get one, okay? What about the downside? I got to show you that too. That's part of the formula. All right, so stick with me. Now that you know the fundamentals of it, now that you know how this part works, all we got to do at this point is go out and do it. Okay, there's no reason to talk about it. Let's go out and do it. Okay, I'd rather show this to you, and I really need you to lock in at this point. All right, I've said this a couple times. I'm not here to waste your time. All right, but I am going to move quickly because I've got to give you a lot of information. All right, we got to pack a lot into this hour. So the market's open. Let's just go to it right now. All right, I'm going to bring it up on my screen. Here it is. Okay, and what I'm bringing up here right now is the star of the show. All right, this is Ultimate Charting Software. All right, this is our baby. Okay, probably the best tool for trading the Forex that there is. All right, Joe, we've seen other software tools before. You probably have. Okay, but what I'm going to tell you is this. Every one of the traders that we've got around the world, they've got this on their desk. They're using it because it works. Okay, every one of the traders here, Josh, myself, the CEO, Tyson, all right, all the traders that you'll get to work with, they've already got this on their desk. All right, why? So that when we get together, we're all looking at the same thing the same way. All right, some of you that have been here before, you probably have this on your desk already. You're going through your 60-day trial period. Perfect. Okay, for the rest of you, if you don't have it yet, don't worry about it. Okay, at the end, right, you get this on your desk. I'm going to let you try this for 60 days to make sure that it works for you, right, before you got to make any kind of final decision on it. But what I'm going to do right now is take you through what all the buttons do so that when you get it, you can hit the ground running. Okay, now what makes our program so great? Okay, why do we have more than $1 million invested in this? I'm going to tell you why. Because no matter what currency you're looking at, just keep going with me, no matter what currency you're looking at, okay, no matter what time frame you're looking at, the reason this program works so well is because it answers the 3 questions as a trader that you got to answer, right? Every single time you trade, and you got to answer these before you risk any of your money. Well, what are the 3 questions? Here, write this down, right? You got to know which way is the market going. Got to know that. We going up, we going down. If you got a tool that can tell you which way the market's going before you trade, it's worth its weight in gold, and it is. Okay, but then what? This goes a step further. It'll also tell you what? Where you're going to get into the market, and probably most important, where you're going to get out of the market. Okay, now what makes our program work so well? Let me explain. Okay, it's actually the way the Forex market itself works. All right, because what did I tell you at the beginning? I told you at the beginning, the Forex market's different than any of these others. What makes it so different? The most important thing, you got to write this in your notes, is the Forex market repeats itself. Okay, write this down. The Forex does the same thing over and over and over again. Right? And because it does, we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to leverage this, and we're going to be able to make money over and over and over again. Why? Because the Forex market, gang, develops patterns. And if we can read those patterns, all right, we use the patterns for profit. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Explain it. All right. Anytime you're looking at a chart, you're looking at candlesticks. Okay. Most of you have seen a candlestick chart before. So I'm just going to keep this simple because it is. All right. As simple as I can make it. If you're looking at a candlestick chart and you see white candles, right, that means the market's going up, okay? If you see blue candles, it means the market's going down, okay? Sometimes what? Market's going up, great. Sometimes what? Market's going down, all right? Never goes straight up or down. It always moves in these waves, all right, in these patterns. Well, I want to look at a couple of patterns with you right now, all right? I'm going to call them A, B, C, D. Let's get you learning this, all right? A, B, C, D patterns. Okay, the Forex always moves in A, B, C, D patterns. Let me show you what I mean. We're going to start over here on the left. Okay, we'll start at the bottom here, right at the beginning of this pattern. I'm going to call that letter A at this low price. Okay, that's the beginning of the pattern. What happens? Almost immediately, boom, market rallies nice and strong, right? All the way up here to a high price. I'm going to call that letter B. Okay, then what happens? Well, market stops going up. Right, and it pulls back down, next leg of the pattern, right, pulls back down to a low price. Well, I'm going to call that letter C before what? Before it rallies again, nice and strong, all the way up here to a high price. I'm going to call that letter D. That is a complete pattern, A, B, C, D, okay? Follow me on this, because what happens is once a pattern completes, the next one begins, okay? Right in the same place, okay? A, B, C, D, that one's over, that's history. Now what do we got? We got a new pattern, starts at a high price this time. What happens? It fades down to a low price, okay? That's letter B, okay? What happens next? The market rallies to a high price, okay? That's letter C, and then what? The market pulls back down again, just about falls apart, right? All the way down here to a low price. Well, that's letter D. That's the end of the next pattern. Now, you can see two patterns here. One's an up pattern, one's a down pattern, but they're both A, B, C, D, okay? Now, most people, right, think that these patterns are random, okay? They're just random. Things that are happening in the market, they're random, but they're not, okay? I want you to understand, right, in the Forex market, these patterns are very natural, okay? I want you to understand, right, that they're repeatable, but the best part, here's my favorite word, is they're predictable. Now that's a word that gets people's attention, right? Predictable, right? What do you mean by that? That's the first question I had when I saw this. What do you mean predictable? What are you telling me? These patterns, you can tell me where we're going next? Because if you can tell me that, sign me up, right? I've been looking for that for 20 years. A predictable thing that shows me which way the market's going. Let me see that. And they said, well, wait a second. What if it could not just tell you which way we were going, up or down, right? But what if it could tell you how far we were going to go before it happened? I said, well, that would obviously help me. Anybody could make money with that. They said, well, let me show it to you because it's built into the program. I said, okay, what is it? They said it goes by a special name. All right, let me show you what they showed me. Okay, it's called the Fibonacci tool. Okay, there's a tool built into the program that will show you that these patterns are natural, repeatable, and predictable. It's called the Fibonacci tool. Some of you know what this is, and that's fine. All right, for the rest of you, let me get you up to speed very quickly. All right, the Fibonacci tool is based on something called the Fibonacci sequence. Okay, sequence. Okay, now that sounds interesting, right? What is it? Well, it's who is it? Who is Fibonacci? It's this guy, right? Italian mathematician. Let me just give you a little background, 2 minutes on this, okay? But it's interesting stuff, okay? Fibonacci was an Italian mathematician. He's very famous because he came up with a sequence of numbers called the Fibonacci sequence, okay, that can be used to measure everything, all right, in nature. Because what Fibonacci figured out, okay, was that everything in nature follows a pattern. They call his numbering system nature's numbering system, because he figured out that everything, right, follows a natural and keyword predictable pattern. Okay, let me show you what I mean by all this, because this is a mouthful, right? Watch this. All right, Fibonacci figured out, right, that everything follows a natural pattern. So let's take a look at something, right? Let's take a look at a fish. Okay, that's a fish. Let me zoom in on the fish. Okay, what's the fish made up of? Scales, right? Fish is made up of scales. Well, if I said to you right now, how many scales are on that fish? What would you do to give me an answer? You try to count those scales one at a time, but take a closer look, all right? Those scales, gang, right? That's not random. Look at, they're in rows, they're in columns, okay? That's a natural pattern. And all you got to do to find out how many scales are on the fish is you put the Fibonacci sequence on the fish. It'll tell you exactly how many scales are on it. No kidding, no kidding, right down to the last scale, right? Because that's how it works. This is a natural pattern. It's the same thing with a flower, all right? Look at that flower. You see this? It's made up of petals. Well, that's not a random number of petals. That's a natural pattern of petals. And instead of counting them one at a time, you can just put the Fibonacci sequence on the flower. It'll tell you exactly how many petals are on it. This works. This works on everything. What do you mean? Look, it works on architecture. That's not just a flight of stairs. Look at, that's a Fibonacci sequence. Can you see that? All right, so are you. You are a Fibonacci sequence. Have you seen this diagram before? Most of you have. Right? This is the Fibonacci diagram of the human body. We use it to measure our symmetry, okay? The length of our arms versus the length of our legs. The shape of your ear is a Fibonacci sequence. Everything can be measured by this because everything follows a natural pattern, right? Google this, look it up. It's fascinating, right? And it is. But what are you thinking right now? Well, that's fascinating. What does it have to do with the Forex? Here's the answer. It's got everything to do with the Forex because, all right, these patterns, gang, aren't random. They're natural and predictable, okay? You take that Fibonacci sequence, you can measure these. Watch how you're going to use it to make some money. It's awesome, okay? All you're gonna have to do when you get this on your desk, all right, is be able to pull up a chart of candlesticks and do what I did. Find the low prices and the high prices, all right? Well, how do I find those? Well, you're gonna look for what's called U-turns, all right? Write that down, U-turns, all right? Make that bold in your notes because the U-turns are the key, okay? You're gonna look for the candles in the shape of the letter U. When you find one, right, the bottom of that, that's a low price, okay? If you find an upside down U, right, like this, the top of that is a high price. So you're gonna look for the U-turns, all right? You're gonna label them low price and high price, and then here's what you do. You break out the Fibonacci tool to measure the pattern. Watch how this works. You're gonna come right up here to this square, this menu that says Fibonacci tools, okay? You're gonna click on it and drop down the menu. What's gonna happen is the first thing you see is MTI, that's us, Fibonacci tool. I want you to click on it, okay? When you do, your cursor is going to turn into a pen. You take your pen and very simply, you draw a line, okay, from A to B. When you do that, look what happened. The Fibonacci sequence appeared right on your desk. All right, there it is. Okay, looks like a step ladder. All right, and it's color coded. This is the Fibonacci sequence. And what's it doing? It's measuring the pattern. Watch how it works. It starts by measuring the first leg of the pattern from A to B. But what happened when you got to B? When you got to B, the market stopped going up and it pulled back down to a low price. You see that? And then it made another U-turn. Well, that low price, right? That's going to be, we got to give it a label. That's going to be letter C. Okay, this is low price A, high price B. This is low price C. And what you've got to be able to notice, and it's not that hard to spot it, is where letter C is relative to this Fibonacci sequence. Do you see how it lines up here with this red Fibonacci number? That is going to be major, okay? Why? Because some people, write this down, some people call these Fibonacci numbers energy levels, okay? I call them something a little different. I call them trampolines because of the way they act on the price of the currency. You're so close. Just stick with me. This is going to make sense to you, all right? What do you mean trampolines, Joe? Well, let me explain. All right, the market has pulled back down to a low price, but now look what's happening. The market's bouncing, okay? What's it bouncing off of? Well, just like when you bounce off of a trampoline, you go bouncing off in the other direction. When the market pulls down to one of these Fibonacci numbers, look what happens. It ends up bouncing off in the other direction. In other words, this Fibonacci number gives it positive energy to the upside. Okay, and you can see that with your own eyes. That's why I call it a trampoline, because the market is literally bouncing right off of it. And now what? Now the market's going up. Okay, if that's the only thing, if this is the only thing this tool could tell you, was that the market was going up and it had energy to the upside, that would give you a massive advantage as a trader. You understand that? This would be worth its weight in gold if that's all it could do. It actually goes a step further, all right? This tool will even tell you how far it's going to go. Now, how does it do that? All you got to do is match the color. What do you mean? Okay, depending on the trampoline you bounce off of, all right? In this case, the market has pulled back down to this low price and it's bouncing off of this red trampoline, okay? To figure out where the market's going next, you got to match the color of your trampoline with the same color up here. That's how the tool works. So for example, if I bounce off the red trampoline, I'm going up, but I'm not going to stop going up till I get to this red line, this red price way up here. Now, when is that going to happen? That's going to happen as we go forward. Why? Because the sequence is going to finish. The sequence will complete itself. And look what happens. That's where the market goes, right? It goes right to the end of the sequence. You see that? A, B, C, D. We've now completed a sequence. The whole key to this, all right, the whole key to using this is figuring out where letter C is, which trampoline you're bouncing off of, because that's going to tell you where you're going next, all right? If you bounce off a red, you're going to red. If the market had pulled back further before making the U-turn, let's say letter C was down here, bouncing off the blue, well, that means the market would still go up, but only to the blue line. All right, that's how the tool works. And keep it simple. All right, if the market, you probably figured it out. If the market pulled back to the green trampoline before it made the U-turn, all right, that energy off of this trampoline would still take it higher, but only to the green line. All right, that's how the Fibonacci patterns, the sequence works. But keep it simple. All right, to use the tool, just remember the colors. Red goes to red, blue goes to blue, green goes to green. And you can see that here. You can see, at least in this example, that that's exactly what happened. All right, but look, look, look. Anybody can show you something that works once. All right, it's pretty good, right? Some of you are on the edge of your seat looking at this. You're like, well, that looks like it kind of works. One time, though, you're not impressed. Neither was I. I wanted to know that this did the same thing over and over and over, because that's what I need to see, right? Anybody can show me something once. So let's see if it does work over and over, because we got another pattern right here, A, B, C, D. Okay, let's see if it works. All right, what do I have to do? Let's just follow the same steps. More repetition is going to help you. All right, that's the mother of skill. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to get my tool out again. All right, I'm going to turn my cursor into that pen, and I'm going to draw my line from the high price to the low price. Okay, A to B. All right, and what's happened here? The market has rallied right off of B all the way up here to this high price. And then what happened? Well, you can see it. All right, you can see what happened. The market came up to this high price, bumped into this red trampoline, and then what happened? It started going in the other direction. So it's bouncing off of this red one. Now we're headed down. Okay, great. We got energy to the downside. You can see that with your own eyes. But the beauty of this is we understand that the sequence isn't done until what? Until it gets all the way down here to this red line. Hang on a second. This red price way down here. How do you know that? Because red goes to red, and look what happens. That's exactly where it goes. A, B, C, D. Do you see that? This is working over and over. Up market, down market, it's working consecutively. All right, that's how this market works. So now what's happening? The market, the chart's coming alive. Now you don't have to be an expert yet, but I got to know if you can see that. If you can see that, can you just do me a favor, please? Because I've been talking a while, but I'm trying to show you something. All right, can you type A, B, C, D in the chat box if you can see these sequences? Just type A, B, C, D. All right, take a screenshot if you have to, but type A, B, C, D if you can see those sequences in the chat box or the question box. Good. All right, good. Sonia, Thomas, thank you. Robert, thank you. Good, good. Larry, good. Right, A, B, C, D. Okay, so you're seeing it. All right. But now what are you thinking? Well, what you've just shown me is just a history lesson, right? Anybody can show me a history lesson. You got to show me how to use this when I pull up my charts. All you're going to have to do, gang, is the same thing. All right, mechanically, you've got this. If you pull up a chart, any chart, New Zealand, Euro, Pound, Yen, Canadian, all right, you're going to see candlesticks. What do you have to do to make it work? Your job is simple, all right? This is the end of that sequence. It's the beginning of another one. It's letter A. Okay, what happens? The market rallies to a high price and then makes a U-turn. That high price is letter B. Then what? The market pulls back down to a low price and then makes a U-turn. So now we've got A, B, and C. What is missing? The only thing that's missing is letter D, right? Where is it? Well, we can find it. We just do the same thing. We come up here, right? We click on the tool, we get our pen out, we draw the line from the low price A to the high price B. You see that here? Let me magnify this for you, because this is really where the rubber meets the road. Okay, this market is bouncing. Okay, now if you didn't have this tool, you wouldn't know what it was bouncing off of. But when you have the tool, take a look. You can see that the market has pulled back down to a low price, and look, it's bouncing right off of this red trampoline. Look how linear that is. You know why? That's not a mistake. That's not an accident. That's the mathematical energy of the universe. I mean, this is deep stuff. Okay, this is how it all fits together. Right? A fish, a flower, a flight of stairs in the Forex market. Wait till you see this. And I know what you're thinking. I don't care about that. Just show me that the thing is going to work. Okay. All you need to know is this. If it works, what should happen? The market should go from this red line here, this red trampoline, and it should keep going up until it hits this red line way up here. All right? Which means what? Which means that's where letter D is, but it hasn't happened yet. So what are we going to call that? We're going to call that future D. That's where we're going if this works. If, all right? Keep your eyes open. If this works, all right? But what have you just done here? Well, if this works, you've just identified yourself a profit opportunity, right? Because if here's where we are and that's where we're going, right? This area right here, that's money to be made. Well, where are we right now? Let me click on the candle. We're at 71.82. Okay, let's see if this is going to be worth your time. 71.82 is my current price. Where am I going? To the red line. All right, well, what's that price? Well, it's not just a line, right? It's a price. The tool will tell you right down to the last pip how far you're going. 74.04 is supposedly where you're going, all right, if this works. Now hang with me, okay? We're almost there, okay? 74.04. So what's the difference between the two? The difference between the two, I get my little calculator out here, all right? 74.04 is where I'm supposedly going. 71.82 is where I am. The difference there is 222 pips, all right? Write that down, okay? And you've got to make a decision now. You've got to make a decision, not me. This is you, your money. Okay, what are you going to do? You're going to trade based on how confident you are. Now, if you've never seen this before, you're not very confident. So maybe you sit this one out. All right, you just watch and see if it works. The more you see it works, the more confident you'll be. It's just natural. Okay, maybe you've seen it work a couple of times, right? And you're ready to at least do it in a demo account, right? So you can get a dry run at the thing. Okay, but at some point you've got to decide that you're going to go out there to try and make some money. The only way to make the money is to be out there doing it. But you don't have to go whole hog. What did I tell you? You don't have to cash in your IRA. You can do this with $20, $200, or $2,000. Okay, let's say you did it as a micro lot, just real quickly. All right, a micro lot trade is a $20 trade. Okay, if it all goes to hell, you lose $20. All right, but if it works, you make 10 cents a pip. 10 cents a pip times 222 pips, you get your $20 back plus another 22. That wouldn't be bad, right? If you did this with a mini lot, that's a $200 trade, all right? $200 trade. $1 a pip though, if it works, you get your 200 back plus 222. All right, now I think we're talking. Why did I tell you I want you to get to the point where you're trading full lots of currency? Because you trade a full lot, $10 a pip, we're now having a serious conversation. All right, we're talking about $2,000. All right, no matter how you look at it, gang, that's 110%. All right, this is not the mutual fund conversation. Okay, 110%. This is not in a year. This is not in a month. This is the day chart. Okay, and that's what you came here to see. Yeah, show me how to make 110% in a matter of days. I can show you that. All I got to do is go forward in time. Look, as I go forward in time, watch. Okay, what happens? The market keeps on bouncing. Why? Because it's bouncing off that red trampoline. Okay, now does it go straight up? No, they never do. Okay, but what happens? We make higher lows, we make higher highs. Okay, on our way to what? Well, if this works, we're going to the red line. If this works, we're going to the red line. Okay, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. I seem to be getting closer. Look what happens on the 5th day. Boom, I go right up and I kiss that line. You see that? I get right up and I kiss that line. Why? Because that's the end of the sequence, A, B, C, D. All right, that's not future D anymore, that's D. And what did you do? If you bought low and sold high, you made yourself 222 pips, okay, in 5 days. That's what you came here to see. All right, you want to see how easy it is mechanically? Couldn't be any easier. Okay, you see an opportunity, right? You got to buy it. What do? You come over here to the trading button, right? You link up your account. We'll show you how, right? Your Oanda, your Forex account, you link that right to the software. Then you got a big fat buy button and a big fat sell button. Okay, click on that. You got to decide 10 cents, $1, or $10 a pip. You're always in control. That's always going to be up to you. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, once you click OK, you bought it. Then what? Then you wait till it gets to letter D and you sell it. Why would you sell it here? It's going up. Well, no. All right. Why would you sell it here? Because you're at the end of the sequence. Look what happened the last time we got to the end of the sequence. We changed direction, new pattern. Got to the end of the sequence, changed direction, new pattern. We're at the end of the sequence. What's going to happen next? We're going to change direction. Why? New pattern. Okay. Most people who don't know this just gave back all of their money. Most people that don't know how this works, okay, they just gave back 222 pips and then some because they didn't realize that they were at the end of an ABCD. You do. So instead of you eating this downdraft, you have now booked your profit. And what are you going to do next? You're just going to trade the next pattern because guess what you got here? Another A, B, C, D. This is how it works. And a couple of you have typed awesome. A couple of you already knew how this worked, which is good. Okay, so now I got to take you to the next level. But some of you are like, holy cow, this is what works. That's what you're trying to do, gang. You're inspired to be here. You're inspired to make money. Okay, but you got to be inspired to learn what works. And that's what we teach here. Okay, and if you never saw this before, you know something, I just changed your life, because this for some of you is life-changing information, period, end of statement. Not just because I'm doing it, I'm not patting myself on the back, but what I'm telling you is if you'd never seen how the market worked before, all of a sudden you're seeing that this thing came alive. Now, does it work in the other markets? No, the other markets are not fluid, all right? They open, they close, they gap, they this, they that. They're dependent on micro as opposed to macro. This works in the currency market. Okay, and it works on all the currencies. All right, write this down. This doesn't just work on the New Zealand. It works on all the currencies. It works in all the time frames. Okay, it is measurable. Okay, it's not random. It's repeatable. That's what makes the formula work. Okay, the market works over and over again. That's what makes the formula work. What's a formula? Something that works, right? Best part, predictable. Okay. And now at this point, all I've got to do, if you want to work with our group, I got to get you talking like the traders in our group. That's it. Okay, you are so close. The hard part is already over. Okay, now what I've got to do is I just got to pick out another currency and show you exactly what you're going to be doing from scratch. Okay, when it comes to bringing the candles to life. Okay, watch this. All right, write down 5 words. Okay, some of you know these already, but for my new people, I'm going to get you talking like a trader now. You're going to be in that trading room. You're going to hear these words a lot. Okay, so I want you to be comfortable. All right, can I come trade with you? Yeah, but I want you to hit the ground running. Okay, comfortable being in the room. All right, I don't want you to be a deer in headlights. So write down 5 words: support, resistance, breakout, sequence, and repeat. 5 words: support, resistance, breakout, sequence, and repeat. That's the formula. You ready? Here's what's going to happen. Okay, you're going to come into our trading room. Okay, we're going to bring up some charts. You're going to have charts on your desk. We're going to have charts on our desk. Okay, we're going to start by bringing this alive. We got to find the trend, right? Which way are we going? We start by drawing trend lines. Okay, draw a trend line. Well, I can draw a trend line. Okay, there's a good one there. Well, how'd you draw that? I connected a few dots. If you know how to do this already, great. If you don't, you come and watch it a couple times. All right, you get used to doing things the right way. You pick it up as you go. All right, this is an active exercise. If you want, look at, I got a tool that'll draw the trend line for you. I mean, there's technology in here. Look, smart trend line. Watch this. My pen, right? Come to a high price, it'll draw the trend line for you. All right, do all the calculations. Well, that's a good trend line. Why? Because it's reliable. Okay, look at this. Every time the market came up to this trend line, look what happened for a long period of time. Okay, what happened? Came up to the trend line and sold off. Okay, came up to the trend line, sold off. Came up to the trend line, sold off. It kept doing that, right? Why? Because this trend line was acting like a ceiling. All right, market was trying to push higher, but the ceiling was pushing back. That's called resistance. Write that down. Resistance. That makes sense. I know it does. Okay, but I want you talking like a trader. I want you to impress your friends with this stuff. All right, it's cool. All right, a ceiling is resistance. It holds the price down. Just the opposite is a floor, all right, that holds the price up. What do you mean? Well, look at this. All right, here the price comes down to the floor and then bounces, comes down to the floor, bounces higher, comes down to the floor, bounces higher. You see that? That's not a ceiling, right? That's not resistance. That's a floor, right? What's the floor doing for you? It's holding you up, right? Support. So now you know what support and resistance look like. Pretty simple, right? Yeah, the chart's starting to come alive. All right, let's use it to our advantage. What is the most important thing on this screen? I'll show it to you. It is right here, right here. Bang. You see this? Let me highlight that. Let me go ahead and magnify that just a little bit, because what is happening here? It's the most important thing for you to spot. Look what happened. The market came up to our ceiling, right? What did we expect? That it would sell off again, but it didn't. Okay, instead, it broke through the ceiling. Well, what's that called? It'll make sense. That's called a breakout, the next word in your formula. A breakout, gang, signals what? It signals a strong move in the market, right? It signals a reversal. Those are always strong moves. What they signal for us as traders is it's time to go make money, okay? This is where money is made, so you got to highlight this. You got to put it in bold type, all right? You're not always going to see breakouts. When you bring up a chart, you're not always going to see breakouts, but when you do, you've got to be ready to spring into action, because this is payday. All right. Well, what do? Well, you go to the next word in your formula. You got support, resistance, breakout. Now it's time for the sequence. Okay. Now it's time for the sequence. What is that? That's the ABCD. Watch how it works. It's all right here in front of you. Okay, what do we do when it comes time to find the sequence? We start with a low price, right? There it is, letter A. Okay, what happens next? The market rallies to a high price. That's letter B. Okay, then what? The market pulls back down to a low price. That's letter C. Okay, and what do? Joe, we do the same thing you showed us with the tool. That's exactly right. You come up here, you click on it, you draw your line from A to B. Okay, then you find out what trampoline you're bouncing off of, all right? You find out what trampoline you're bouncing off of, and then what? You see that that's the end of the sequence. That's not random, A, B, C, D. You see it? It's a Fibonacci sequence. Well, what good is that? It's over. You're right. But what you've just done is two things. You've proven that this works, right? It's still a sequence, but you've also shown what? That the market, gang, right, has energy to the upside. Well, now what's going to happen is the last word. It's my favorite word. You got support, resistance, breakout, sequence. Now it's time for that repeat, okay? Now it's time for repeat. You ready? Here's what happens, okay? The market, okay, continues to move forward. The old letter C becomes the new letter A. You roll your energy forward. Watch this, okay? The old letter D becomes the new letter B, okay? Then what happens? The market pulls back down to this low price and then makes a U-turn. That's letter C. And the beauty of that is, look, remember how this was the ceiling? Remember how this trend line was the ceiling? Look what it is now. It's become the floor. He's right. Well, I know you're looking right at it. But the key is you want to know where's letter D. Let's find out if this continues to work. Where is letter D? Well, letter D should be where? At this red line. Looks like the market completed another sequence, A, B, C, D. Joe, we're still not making money. Just roll your energy forward one more time, okay? Turn old C into new A, okay? Market does what? Market rallies all the way up here to a high price. Then it makes that big U-turn, okay? Watch. This is your current sequence. You found it. You found it, okay? Now the last thing to find is letter C. What do I need to? I don't go jumping into the market, all right? I want to wait for that next U-turn, okay? I don't want to guess. There's no guesswork here, okay? You want to wait for that next U-turn. You want the market to signal, right, that it is indeed going up, that it's got positive energy. So you wait for what? That U-turn to form, and it does. Here, let me, again, magnify it so you can see it. That is our U-turn. So you've now found letter C. Where is it? Right here at the red Fibonacci number, the 382. See that right there? So what does it mean? Not only are we going up, but we're not done until, hold on, we get to that red line way up there, okay? So what does it mean? Well, 141.97, that's where we're going. Where are we right now? We're at 139.45. Let me go ahead and get the calculator again, okay? 141.97 minus 139.45, that's 252 pips, all right? That's even better than the last one, all right? And you've got to make a decision. I don't care what you do. That's not my job to decide for you what you do with your money, okay? You do. Micro mini standard. All I can keep doing is showing you something that works, okay? And the fact of the matter is 252 pips looks good if it was a day chart, but this is even better. This is the 2-hour chart. Let me be right once. This will be worth all of your time. Let me be right once. This will be worth all of your time, okay? Because the fact of the matter is, gang, that's your opportunity here, 252 pips. Now, my favorite question is always, well, what if it doesn't work? Okay, that's a trader's question. What if it doesn't work? If it doesn't work, that means the second you buy something, all this risk comes into play. And if it doesn't work, your account, right, falls off a cliff. So what are you gonna do in order to protect your downside? You're gonna do what traders do. All right, you're going to protect your downside with a stop order. Now, if you're not sure how to do that, I'll show you how. All right, but a stop order builds a floor under your trade so that what? So that your downside is protected. Okay, now in this market, because it's so liquid, because it's always open, if your stop order gets hit, in other words, if you build a floor underneath your trade, I'll show you what it looks like. There's a floor. Okay, if the market doesn't go your way, if instead it comes down to the floor, what's going to happen is your trade will stop automatically, right? That's a key word, automatically, okay? You're going to be taken out of the market. It'll protect the rest of your account, okay? So that you have some left to trade on the next go round. You're not going to win every time. Nobody has an undefeated season, okay? But if your stop should be hit, all right, you're out of the market. Now, I want you to understand something, okay? You get to define what your risk is ahead of time, but I don't want it to be arbitrary. I want you to trade properly. So here's the last thing I've got to tell you to set this up, and then you'll be ready to do it. All right, you're not going to put your stop any old place. You're going to put it in the place that makes the most sense. 80% of you, 90% of you, you're conservative traders, right? You want to risk as little as possible to make as much as possible. You're conservative. I'm conservative. So you know what you're going to do? You're going to place your stop in the right place. You're going to place it at letter C. C for conservative. That means what? You're going to risk as little as possible to make as much as possible. Well, Joe, that makes sense. I know, that's why I did it. But it also takes advantage of the sequences. You understand that? You put your stop at letter C, gang, you'll risk as little as possible. Now, how much do you have at risk here? Let's take a look. What you have at risk here is what? 55 pips, all right? So 10 cents a pip, you want to risk $5.50 to find out if this works? Do you want to risk $5.50, do one micro lot trade to find out if this works? Because I'm telling you right now, gang, if you do that, if you have the courage to do that, right, and put this thing to the test a couple, 3, 4 times, what I'm going to tell you is you found it. All right, it already worked once, then it worked again. If it goes to that red line, guess what? It works. Okay, and I think you want it to work at this point, right? You want it to work. Well, look, you were protected the whole time. You had this floor built, and look what happened. The market continued to go up until it completes the sequence. All right, that's the name of the game. You complete that sequence. How long did that even take, right? That took 31 bars times 2 hours, 62 hours, 3 days to make 250 pips. There's only so many places you can even talk like this. Okay, but I'm showing you one because that's why you came. All right, and if you've got A, B, C, D, the beauty of this is there's nothing left to learn. All that's left is to read the candlesticks. Well, what happened here? What did happen here? The market reversed. Okay, does it work to the downside too? Well, you tell me. I got a high price, I got a low price, then what do I have? I got the market rebounding to the red line, and then what does it do? Then it goes from red to red. Oh my God, it completes the sequence, then it changes direction again. You see how it works? It works in up markets, down markets, and it works over and over. All right, look at, I can show you how many times. We got a couple minutes left. All right, so let me go ahead and show you how many times. All right, I showed you 1, 2, 3 times that it worked, but look, I can show you this works repeatedly. I got a smart tool. Instead of drawing them all, watch this. I'll just click on Smart Fibonacci, right, and I'll show you. It worked over and over and over and over 6, 7 times in a row. Okay, that's the key to using this tool. You don't have to get them all. Even if you did one of those, you still made money. All right, so what do we do, Joe? Take me to my first trade for the day. I promised you 2 trades. All right, let me take you to your first trade for the day. What did we have here? All right, what did we have here? We had a breakdown, right? We had an awesome looking a trend down, then we had a breakout, right? Well, did that thing work? Let me see, A, B, holy cow, I think it did work. I know, right? Low price, high price, so that was the first one, right? It completed the sequence. So then what did we do? Then we went to the next one, right? Here it is. What sequence are we on? Are we on a sequence? It looks like we are, okay? I've got A, I've got B, I've got this pullback to C. Where are we going? We're going to that red line way up there, okay? There it is, which means what? Well, from where we are, we're not done with that positive energy. We're making higher lows, we're making higher highs. Do you see that? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for this. Here, let me magnify it. To give us a nice fat U-turn, and that's when we're going to buy this currency. So you're not quite ready to do this one yet, but what's that price? 151.86. I'm at 149.82. That's 200 pips. 200 pips of opportunity staring right at you, right? Well, that looks like too much risk. Okay, then limit your risk, all right? Bring it forward even one more time, okay? You're still going from red to red, but now if you place your stop here, right at letter C, right? Now look what you're risking. Almost nothing. Tell me I'm trying to help you, right? Tell me I'm trying to convince you of anything. That's as little risk as possible to make 200 pips. You think you could do that? All right, and I'm going fast, and I'm asking you, but I'm not asking you a rhetorical question. I'm asking you if you think you can do that, because this is the difference. You get this on your desk today, all right, and you've learned what there is to learn. Well, you went so quick. Well, look at, if you want to review it, you click on the services button. Okay, what's going to happen is this. You'll click on education. It's built right into the program. Okay, we'll get you a username and a password for this thing today so that you can log into it and have full access. All right, when you click on that, what I want you to do, all right, is come right to this page, and you're going to look for, right, leveling, which I'm going to show you next. All right, because that's going to be built in. That's going to help even my newest people today. All right, you're going to click on that. You're going to click on that, and you're going to come to the Forex Foundations. This is the foundation I built for you today. Okay, this is what we've gone over in less than an hour. All right, it's support and resistance, it's the ABCDs, it's the Fibonacci's, it's the uptrends, it's the downtrends, it's the equity management. I cramped it all in there so you could see that this is what you're going to get. Okay, but if you want to review it, you get it on your desk, you show it to your spouse, you show it to your neighbor, you show it to your business partner, you show it to your kids. All right, just take them through this. Hey, come on over a second. This Joe guy showed me something today. All right, I want you to check it out. ABCD. They'll blow their mind. Okay, and if you want to do that, again, you don't have to wait for me. All right, you don't have to wait for me. All you got to do to get this on your desk today, get in line to get this, is just put a good phone number in the chat box so we can talk. All right, let's make sure it's a good fit for you. You got questions, let's get them answered. But what I'm telling you is this, all right, you get started with this thing today, all right, you've got this part in your back pocket. So there's no reason for you not to do this, okay? You saw the power of it, all right? I gave you a trade that you can do today that has almost no risk, okay? And the fact of the matter is, I'll give this to you with all the traditional stuff built into it, and in 60 days, you wanna work with us, I'll turn you into a powerhouse. Okay, I can't turn you into a powerhouse trader in an hour, but I can sure as hell turn you into one in 60 days, because that's what we've been doing here for 23 years. All right, and if that's something you're interested in doing, right, great. But if you want to do it even quicker, some of you are like, well, that looked good, but I don't want to commit 60 days. I know, you're busy. Okay, we know that. A, we know you're busy, and B, when it comes to learning versus making money, everybody wants to do the second part and they don't want to do the first part, right? So here's what we did. We made it so you don't have to. What do you mean? Well, we leveled the playing field, right? With this thing that I'm about to show you, it does the work for you, all right? You could decide to use this or not. I know what I showed you works. But if you say, well, if it's gonna do the work for me, show me that. All right, I'm gonna show it to you in 5 minutes because that's all we got left, okay? But the fact is, if you mess with this thing for an hour, you'll have it, okay? It is built into the program. You'll be able to analyze stuff in a few seconds. The beauty of this one is it works, okay? This is my favorite part. And it works so that instead of maybe making 20 or 50 or even 200 pips, this is the tool that's taken traders to the next level, especially with our group, okay? Because it's keeping them in the good trades, 300, 400 pips, all right? Even longer. And that's really the key to ramping up your success, is being in those good ones. All right, so I'll show you quick how this works, but then once I do, all right, then it's just going to be up to you to decide if you want to mess with it and try it out today. All right, this is the good stuff. All right, but let me show you how leveling works. Look. We'll do the yen very quickly. All right, we'll do the yen very quickly. Okay, and here, all right, I've got a chart. I got my candlesticks, but what's happening here? Well, I got to identify my trend and find my U-turns. You and I both know. Okay, that's a U-turn, but look what happened. The market reversed again. So I could be thinking that I'm doing things correctly, right? Joe, you taught me about U-turns, but look, every time I find one, it goes against me. Well, you don't have the right U-turn. Well, how do I know that? Well, look, instead of having to go and figure it all out, okay, the tool that's built in here is just it's gonna smooth all this out for you. Okay, watch this. You see this? Look, I got long stems. If you're new, you're nervous, and I don't want you to be. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a chart, okay? And I want you to come up here, and instead of looking at candles, I just want you to smooth the whole thing out, just so you can relax. It's easier on the eyes to look at this as a line. So I'm gonna click on that. 1, 2, 3, click, and look what happens. Now, I'm looking at something that's just a little softer, okay? The noise has been taken out of the market. Okay, too many times noise in the market gets us into bad trades and it gets us out of good ones. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was up $300, right? I got a little wobble in the market. I got nervous and got out, and then the thing ran $3,000, okay? This is the thing that's gonna help you stay in it, okay? Because what does it do? Well, not only does it smooth things out, Okay, it still uses the same concept. It still uses the same concept when it comes to the U-turns, when it comes to the trends. All right, you're still going to be drawing trend lines. You're still going to be looking for breakouts. Okay, but what this is going to show you is who's in control. Now watch how easy. Watch how easy. Watch. One last thing. This thing here, all right, is an indicators button. Here, let me show you again. This square over here. All right, you got to find that. The indicators button built in. Okay, and you'll get this with the program today, is an indicator we call the FX Finder. All right, what does it do? The easiest way to say it is it finds the trend and it shows you who's in control. Now watch, when I add that to my chart, look what I have, red arrows and green arrows. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. First thing I thought, oh, don't tell me, right? I buy when it's green and I sell when it's red and I make $1 million. Well, close. All right, intuitively, that's true. Okay, but you're going to still use the same tenets that I've now taught you, and you're going to apply them here. Okay, let me show you what I mean. I got to focus on this just a little bit. So we're going to come forward so you can see this. All right, those arrows are going to be critical because those arrows are showing you who is in control. But you're only going to buy when what? You have a breakout and the buyers are in control, carrying that momentum to the upside. Show it to me. Okay. You see that the buyers are in control. You see that the market has broken out. You're going to use this tool and you're going to wait, okay, to buy it until the green arrow pops above that ceiling. Remember that? When the green arrow pops above, that's when you're going to buy it. All right. Now, in this particular case, what does it mean? It means you're going to buy the currency up here. Well, I'm paying up for it a little bit. That's true. But what you're doing is you got a confirmed move with the buyers in control. So yes, you're paying up a little. Okay. But what you're going to do in terms of simplicity is going to be worth it. Okay. You're going to stay in this trade until the arrows turn red. That is all of the analysis you have to do because it's doing all the analysis for you. Okay, when you check your charts, you look at the arrow. Is my arrow still green? It is. I'm in. Good. Go live your life. Go drop your kids off at school. Go to the grocery store. Go do what you got to do. Okay, because the buyers are still in control, you're going to be able to stay in this trade. What most traders would do, all right, is when they see this little pullback here, they'd get a little nervous and they'd get out of a trade and they'd say, oh, look, I made some money. And they'd be right. All right, they would have made 219 pips. That's a good trade. But because of the way this tool works, all right, and this is going to help you, I'm telling you, it's going to keep you in through some of those bumps and noise, all right, and watch what happens. Okay, this is just one example, and I'm showing this to you quickly, but take a look. You're able to stay in the good trade longer, so instead of taking 200 pips out of this, look what happens. The market continues to press and press and press with the buyers in control. When the sellers show up, okay, now it's time to go, but look what you did. Instead of 200 pips, you made 3 times that. 750 pips would be $7,500, okay? And that is the key to leveling. It keeps the noise down, it levels the playing field, it takes that time factor right out of it, and this is helping our traders go to the next level. I don't want to show you any more of that because your sponge is a little full at this point, okay? But this is going to be included today. All right, do it either way. Either way works. You put them both together and it's awesome. You come and trade it with us. We'll show you how to do it. When's your first time doing it? Monday. Remember that? If you, gang, you're ready. Okay, you're ready to get a taste of this on Monday. All right, and if you want to do that, I'm telling you right now, 7 o'clock Monday, come on. You can do that. You're going to have the software on your desk. All right, come trade it with us on Monday. It's going to be awesome. All right, and you're ready to do that. All right, get it on your desk. I'll include all the auto tools. I'll include everything. You get a username and a password. You get the tutorial. Show your spouse, show your kids, show your buddy, okay? But by all means do it. Normally it's $249 a month. But what did I tell you earlier? Anybody that gets on this team today, you're gonna get to try this and test this and make sure it works before you have to make any kind of final decision on it. All right, I'll give you the software. Member of our team, 2 months, all right, for free. So you can put it to the test, and you really have to let me know that that's something that you want to do. All right, now it's up to you. All right, think about this. All right, I just gave you all of this for an hour. Okay, but now I can't do anymore. It's up to you to try it. All right, you got some questions, I know that. Let's get them answered. All right, first person that puts in their phone number is the first person that gets called. We're going to have a ton of people that want to do this, of course. Okay, so that's the most democratic way for us to do it. All right, if you're on YouTube, if you're on the live stream, you can put your phone number in that chat box and I'll make sure to get you in line to grab this. All right, we're going to have a ton of people that want to do this. I know that. So the most democratic way is just for us to take you in order. All right, and get your questions answered. We got to answer your questions. All right, you have to know everything there is to know about this before you go spending what? Your time on it. Okay, well, what's the first thing most people want to know? Well, what's the performance? Let me just explain something. The group that did this just before you, okay, we had 50 people that did this leveling group, okay, and over a year's time, they made 38,000 pips, right? You know what that means, all right? And that's really what you want to see. That's the performance. That group did so well. And on Facebook, they were posting about it. We had this huge groundswell of people saying, can you bring that back? Can you make another group for the leveling? So what we decided to do was do it for another group of 50 people. And we started that this week, all right? We're gonna do this until July 19th. We're gonna put this group together, all right? And on July 19th, we're gonna close the group so that we can do what? Concentrate on their success, trade with them 3 times a week. So we've got room for 50 people, all right, in our group, but that's all we got room for, all right? And again, the results speak for themselves. And look I know the number at the bottom is exciting, all right? Even if you made $1 a pip for a year, you made $38,000, all right? That's problem solving money for sure. If you did it at $10 a pip, that's 380 grand, all right? Those are good numbers, but that's not the most important number on the screen. All right, the most important number on the screen is right there, 76%. Okay, I'm a trader, gang. I know you've got to see a number like that. Over 800 trades, so that's about 2 trades a day. This works 76% of the time, which means it truly is a system. You understand that? That is what trading is all about. And I know what you're thinking. It can't be that easy. Try it. All right, it can't be that simple, right? Well, you're like Saqib. I didn't believe you until I made 300 pips. All right, the proof is going to be when you get it on your desk and do it. Start paper trading. Start with a demo account. Start with 20 bucks, but don't tell me you can't test this. Okay, and then 1,500 pips, that doesn't look too bad. 1,600 pips, we like that one. Robbie didn't know the first thing about Forex trading. Now he's a consistent trader. He says this is something to be excited about, and he's right. July 19th, okay, we'll take you through leveling. There's 1, 2, 3 strategies for leveling. All right, I showed you the simplest one because I just didn't want your sponge to be too full. All right, but it's built in there. You can start messing with it today, okay? And the fact of the matter is, look it. All right, if you're ready to do that, come on. July 19th is the day, but some of you don't want to wait. Well, we're trading right now. All right, if you want to come trade with us, what time is it? It's a little after 11. We're trading right now. And if you want to come in and trade with us right now, I'll let 5 of you come in as a guest, all right, to our trading room so you can get a sneak peek of what this is all going to be. Okay, look, this is how it works, gang. All right. Getting out there and doing it. Who's doing the trading? That's our established group. That's the ones that have already made the 38,000 pips, right? But if you want to do a couple of dry runs, right? You want to get a head start, I'll let you do that, all right? And here's the beauty of all this, all right? You can tell I believe in it. Of course I do, all right? I'm so confident that this works. We're so confident in this program that we're literally going to give you, all right, the whole thing, all right? Risk-free for the next 60 days. That way you don't have to sit here and listen to me, right? Tell you how great it is, all right? You can put it on your own computer, you try it, you test it, you make sure that it works, right? Most important, you make sure that it works for you. Then you make a decision on if you want to keep it or not. All we ask of you is that you give this an honest effort, okay? So let's do this, all right? The value here is huge. What you're gonna get on your desk today, right, is an awesome piece of equipment. All right, what's it worth? Well, I mean, if we had to put a number on it, right, when you start to add up the software itself, the support of 200 people, plus all the time you get with our traders, right, plus that leveling programming and so forth. I mean, if we had to put a number on it, right, it's worth about $9,000, All right. And a lot of you are like, well, yeah, yep, sure is. Right. If it does half of what you said, right, it's definitely worth that. Okay. But here's what you need to know. Yes, you're going to get that value today. There's no doubt about it. All right. But you're not going to pay $9,000 for it. Okay. There's a couple of ways you can get this program. All right. I know one of them is going to work for every single one of you that's here. All right. You just got to decide what the best way is for you to get started. Let me just lay them out for you. You choose. All right. One way to do this, you could go to my website today, markettraders.com. Write it down anytime. You can go there. All right. There's a little portal where you can order the program. All right. MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover is fine. What we did online was we bundled everything together. We came up with a retail so that everybody could save some time and money. Right. And we decided it's not $9,000 for the bundle. It's less than half of that. All right. You can go online. You can get this anytime you want. Right. You have it for the rest of your life. All right. But why did I just put a big line through it? Because investor inspiration, we do it different. Okay, because you were here today, because you were here spending time with me, you're ready to hit the ground running. All right, so I'm going to give you full value for the time you just spent here today. Here's what we're going to do. All right, we got to make this group of 50. All right, and what we're going to do is make it possible for every one of you to get started. What we're doing here today is this. We're taking $1,500 off the online retail for the program, meaning you can get started today for a one-time, and this is lifetime investment, of $2,495. And it's real easy to get started. All you got to do at this point is put a phone number in that chat box. All right. What I'm going to do is this. At the end, I'll reach out to you. One of my traders will reach out to you. Okay. We'll answer every question that you have. We will spend as much time with you as you need. Right. And then you're off to the races. The only problem you're going to have with this at all is that you didn't get it 6 months ago. Right. Start trading back then. All right. Now, I want you to understand real quickly. By putting in your phone number, you are not committed to this thing right this instant. You're not locking yourself in. All right. What you're doing is this. You're reserving one of those seats. You're reserving a space in line. And what I'm going to give you is a first right of refusal. We're going to talk. Okay. We're going to make sure that this is a right fit for you. You're going to ask us questions. We're going to ask you a few. Okay. You're going to be a part of our group. And what's going to happen is this. If it makes sense, then you've got the option to take that seat. Okay, it makes sense to me, Joe. I'm getting started. Boom, that seat belongs to you. Great. If you decide that it's just not your cup of tea, it's okay. Nothing's lost there. All we're going to do is free up that seat for the next person. Do you understand that? So by putting in your number, you're not locking yourself in, but you are saying, you know what, let's have a conversation. All right, if you're interested in this at all, that's what you need to do. Well, I don't know if I got $2,400. Well, guess what? I can help you there too. All right, if need be, right? If you can't fit $24.95 on your credit card, it's okay, right? I've got a way that you can put a little bit down, all right? Put a little bit down and reserve a seat, all right? Well, what does that mean? I'll still give you the whole program, okay? But what we'll do with the rest, the balance, is we'll spread it out a little bit for you, give you a little flexibility, right? A lot of people like that because it gives them a chance to sort of pay as they go. But either way you do this, gang, you got to realize you got 60 days before you have to make any kind of final decision on it. All right. You're going to use the program. In fact, look, I'm going to give you every possible thing, okay, to help you be successful. Here's a bonus. All right. Instead of 2 months of the charts, I'll give you charts till the end of the year. So that saves you $249 a month. Why am I doing that? Because I want you to concentrate on learning this. Okay. I'll trade with you for 6 months. I'll make sure you've got my reputation in your hands at this point. So I'm going to hold your hand to make sure that you get this, because you're going to post on Facebook about your experience with it. So I want to make sure that you get this. Do you understand that? It's going to be a synergistic relationship. Okay. And I'll hold your hand. We'll hold your hand for 6 months while you learn this. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, you don't even have to make a final decision on this for 60 days. So here's what I need you to do. We're going to wrap this up right now. Okay, and good. Audrey, I've got your number. William, I've got your number. Sean, Noah, Enoch. Wow. All right, lot of you are doing that. All right, I can barely keep up. Some of the YouTube people are putting their number in also. Okay, listen, here's what I need you to do. All right, some of you have said payment plan. All right, some of you, I'm sure, are going to be okay with a one-time payment. So here's what I need you to do. Okay, if you are right, leaning towards just doing this as a one-time payment, you get that nice discount, you get all those bonuses that come with this. What I want you to do is this: put the letter A next to your name in the chat box. okay? By typing the letter A, I'm not saying you're locked in right this instant, but what I am saying is if this makes sense to you, okay, and it's something you're in a position to do, right? Put the letter A, okay? You'll be able to take advantage of that discount, all right? And the fact of the matter is you're in a position to make a one-time payment if this makes sense. Now, on the other hand, if you're leaning towards doing this as a payment plan, I want you to put the letter B in the chat box. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you're going to finance this, all you got to come up with today to get yourself started is $499. Okay, we will spread the rest of it out over time. Now, understand, all right, what you're going to get is that online bundle price, still a great price. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, with this option, you get a ton of flexibility. $499 today, I give you everything. And here's the thing, you still don't have to make any more decisions for 60 days. Okay, you get to try this and test this, not for 10 days or 15. You get 2 months with this program. Okay, you get to come to the class, you get to come trade with us 3 days a week. If you want to come trade with us right now, 5 of you, I'm going to get you into that room. All right, fact of the matter is, you got 60 days to get results. Then you make a decision, okay? And it's going to be easy. If you get the results, you keep the program. Obviously, you come trade with us the rest of your life. If you say, though, after 60 days, it's just not for me, it's okay. Our warranty says we'll refund every penny you paid just for trying it, all right? We're the only company that does this. Why do we do it? We want you to have every chance to be successful at it. What's the best that happens? You get it. What's the worst that happens? Even if you put $499 down, 2 months from now, it's not for you. We'll give you your money back, okay? That's called putting your money where your mouth is, and that's really where the rubber meets the road, okay? So one way or the other, I know this is gonna work for you. At the very least, you're gonna learn everything there is to know about the Forex from our group. If you can't be successful trading the Forex, learning it from us, we'll say it out loud. You're not going to learn this from anybody, all right? But a full day class, think about it. Think about what you learned from me in an hour and 25 minutes, okay? Think about what you learned from me in an hour. It's awesome, okay? Imagine spending a whole day with us. You're going to have this in your back pocket, and you can bring a friend to that one. Our group is making money, gang, all right? Last 3 months, 2 million pips. Worldwide, our students made 2 million pips in the last 3 months. So if in your time with us, you even get half of this, all right, you're going to be impressed with it. So with that, all right, I want to leave it up to you. It's either option A or it's option B, all right? Put your name and your phone number in that chat box so we can just have that conversation, all right? That's what you're doing. It's first right of refusal. You understand that? Either way you do it is fine. John, I got your number. Thank you for that, 650. Link, please. And I've got yours also. Zyle, I've got your number also. Bill, or is it Ivy? Good, I've got yours as well. And look, if you don't want us to call you, call us. If you don't want us to call you, call us. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll guarantee you a seat in the class. I won't make you wait for somebody to call you hoping there's a seat left, okay? I'll guarantee you a seat in the class, and because you're gonna kind of save us all some time. Time is money. So I'll save you $300 on it, okay? Let me know if you're calling in though, all right? And I'll put a voucher right next to your name for $300. Is that fair enough? John said I'm calling you. Good, $300 for you, John, all right? That's it, and I'll guarantee you a spot in the class. Call us. I don't wanna take any calls. Well, then you call, you take action, okay? And I'll make it worth your while. Okay, so there's 3 of those left, right? Andy, you're gonna call me? Good, 3 of those left, all right? And I got 2 minutes before I gotta wrap this up. And this is for the rest of you, okay? Some of you saw this and you're like, this is awesome, right? You know I gave you a good effort. I didn't waste your time, okay? You saw ABCD, that worked. You saw the leveling thing. You're like, well, that sure looks like it's got some potential, all right? But you didn't put your phone number in yet. And I gotta wonder why, all right? It can't be because my program didn't work. It can't be because I didn't give you a full effort today. All right, give you a good sample of what this is going to be like. So the only thing that's holding you up has got to be the money. Well, here's what I'm going to do. If that's the only stumbling block, then I'm going to get you over it. All right, because working with our group can be a life changer. All right, so what I'm going to do is this for 10 of you. All right, I'm going to give you an opportunity here today. All right, to get the program for a little bit less. Now, how much less? Well, before I tell you, I just got to make sure that you're not going to waste time, that you're not going to waste our time. All right, that you're going to show up with enthusiasm. You're going to learn this program. You're going to learn it well enough that you make some money at it and you tell a couple people about it. All right, if that's you, if you're serious, then I can get you the program for less. How much? How about free? Well, that sounds good. Well, then put your phone number in the chat box and put the word free next to it. Well, a minute ago it was 2,500. I know. But some of you have a stumbling block when it comes to the money part. And I just took your excuse away. And what you need to know is this: I've got a referral program. I've got a scholarship program. I've got a tuition reimbursement program. I've got a way to take the money part excuse off the table. Okay. And let's just have the conversation so you can see. All right. But don't put your number in there if you're going to waste time. Okay. This is, we got too many people to support. We got too much going on. We got 32,000 students. Okay. So we can't afford to waste time. We're serving all of those people. You want to be one of those people? Great. We will serve you too. Okay. Put your phone number in the chat box, put the word free next to it, and let's have that conversation. So with that, it's one of the three. I'm going to wrap it up right now. All right. It's option A. You get that awesome savings. Plus you get 6 months of charts and 6 months of help. Okay. Option B, you got $500, gang. You're starting. And where else are you going to get this kind of help and software for $500? And it's not even like you're risking that, because for 60 days, I mean, that's risk-free. That's the warranty. Even if you decide after 60 days it's not for you, we'll give you the $500 back. If there's something else you can do for $500 where you can learn how to make this kind of money, go do it. Okay. But here, all right, I'll even guarantee that part of your investment, because you're going to give me a chance to show it to you, man, then let's make it happen. All right. And the last one is at the top, free. Come on. That's for everybody. Okay. Renee, thank you. Investor Inspiration, thank you. All right. Thank you guys for being here. I'm excited for you, because there's no better way to go through your life than as a trader that makes serious money. All right. If this helped you take the next step forward in some way, even if it was just opening that little account, I'm glad that I could be a part of your trading journey. If that ABCD thing got you fired up, then I'm excited. All right. We spent good time here. I'm excited that some of us are going to take that next step together. Okay. And I know I'll see you in the trading room.